There are different types of transactions. The type of transaction you do is going to depend a lot on what your personal goals are. The two main categories of transactions are value-based versus yield-based. To give you an idea, a value-based transaction is building your balance sheet. You're looking for rapid appreciation of your investment. It doesn't generally throw off much as far as cash flow, but the whole goal is to turn your $50 into $100 as soon as possible, and you would forego getting interest payments in exchange for that. The next type of transaction is a yield-based. Now, a yield-based, these are traditionally properties that are very nice quality. They are, some people say, institutional quality. But the whole purpose is to have a property that is stable, operating, and is running smooth to provide cash flow for you each month. The value-based transaction, it's usually a property that has some difficulties to them. Some people say hair on the deal. And that can include low occupancy, low collections, a bad market. Bottom line is it's not performing. There may be deferred maintenance or major repairs needed. And what you need to do is go in there, recapitalize the property, rehab the property, reposition it to create value very rapidly. And that's something you have control over. In the value-based, again, your goal is to rapidly increase your balance sheet. Generally speaking, yield-based investments don't have a lot of upside in them. In a yield-based transaction, you are looking for stability, long-term security for your investment. You don't want to go out there and you don't want to have any risk as far as upside. You don't want to have any risk as far as putting more money into the property, anything like that. You just want your yield. Remember, income-producing property is only worth the income it produces. That is most true on a yield-based transaction because it's already producing the income that it can produce. In a value-based, you're buying it below that value because it is not performing the way it should be. And you are going to get it to perform to create that value. In some economic cycles, it's possible to get a combination of the two. For example, we are now in a buyer's market. You can actually find properties that have a lot of value-based benefits while still producing a yield. In a good marketplace, you're only going to get one or the other. The value-based and yield-based transactions are the two basic types of deals you can do. You can refine that even further. For example, you might want to stay in particular markets. For example, a major metropolitan area, somewhere close to your house, a small town. Maybe you like the idea of investing in California or Florida or New York, and you live in Iowa. That's just another type of transaction you can invest in within the value and yield based. There are also different property types. Apartments, office, industrial, warehouse, retail, shopping malls, self-storage, medical, land. There's all different types of transactions you can invest in. In each one of those types, there are pros and cons to being in that particular investment type. I would recommend focusing on one, maybe two investment types so that your knowledge is best focused in those areas. You can also buy with different structures. For example, you can buy with partners in a limited partnership or an LLC. You can buy on your own. You can invest in TICs, REITs, and all sorts of different methods to go ahead and get your money invested. There's also certain ways to do it completely debt-free. Some people like debt-free investing. That is entirely possible as well. And it all depends on what your goals are and what structures you want to put it into. Now, with all these structures, all the different property types, all the different major metropolitan areas, the value-based, the yield-based, all these things, now let's further confuse it because you want to take all those, shake them up and get the mixture that you want to invest in based on what your goals are. A good advisor will help you determine how that should be done. For example, this is the structure that I like for our investment portfolio. We like to invest about 90% of our portfolio in major metropolitan areas and suburban areas around those major metropolitan areas, but we also reserve about 10% so that we can go into some of these smaller markets. We're primarily looking to invest about 85% into Texas, Florida, California and Arizona, markets we're familiar with, that we like, and that we know. We want to invest about 70% into value-based transactions so that we can rapidly increase our overall capital, and about 30% to go into yield-based transactions for the stability and the cash flow. We use about 60 to 70, 75% leverage. Some deals we have higher leverage, some deals we pay all cash for. The way we set up our business is people can invest in a fund that invests in all of the transactions, or they can pick and choose and just invest in individual deals that they like. Either they're in a marketplace they like, it's a property type they like, it's a specific investment they like, or it's close to their home so that they can go look at it. In any case, we have our plan of what we invest in based on our goals. You can decide what your goals are and how you want to structure your transactions to get the most bang for your buck.